Today's video, we're going to talk about location bid adjustments and how you can use them to make 50 to 100% more profit from your Google Ads account as it exists right now today without too much trouble at all. This is a repeatable method that will basically work for any business. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. And the type of businesses that it works for, and basically everything else you need to know to be able to get this extra profit in your business. The reason why, just to get started with the video, why this actually does work in most, if not all the cases, is because most markets out there, most niches, most business niches have geographic trends within them, which you may not really consider and your competitors don't consider, which is why you're going to be able to get the extra 50+% additional profit from your Google Ads account, exploiting the geographic trends that match your business. So I can tell you this is something that 1% of people do. I know because I've audited hundreds and hundreds of ad accounts, Google ad accounts, to give you the opinion I'm giving you here. People don't do location-based bid adjustments. And I don't care if you're selling, flooring services from like a home service business perspective, or you're selling products locally like with elderly care supplies like we've done in the past, whether you're selling just regular e-commerce products nationally, or you're selling like professional services nationally. It all benefits from these location bid adjustments because there's always some gradient or differential of how one state will do over another state with your keywords that you're targeting or your audiences that you're targeting. Or if you're talking about on a regional business, also state to state, or a local business, each city within the geographic territory that you're covering, or even at a neighborhood level in your local territory that you're covering in your business there. So it doesn't seem, really, sometimes believable that there's location-based, trends within the customers that you have buying. For instance, we had a company that ended up, that was selling like protein powders and stuff that for, bodybuilders and stuff, supplements and so forth that they would sell to people that are trying to get bigger muscles, as well as some other dietary and health products. We found a lot of the products that they were converting a lot better in, the West Coast states, California, Oregon, Washington, like that, as well as Florida. Because for the most part, it's a little bit unknown as to, other than we think that they're more health conscious. Probably, in my opinion, is they're more people care about their appearances more, and therefore, there's more people searching for it, of course, which that's not what this is about. It's what rate of the clicks that you get, what rate do they convert at? What's the conversion rate difference compared to other people in other states? And all you need is a 20% difference in conversion rate to have a big impact on your results, because you could actually advertise and once you find that out, spend more to get people from California, from Florida, once you find it out, which, if you're talking about Google search ads, you're only going to get shown at such a rate for your keywords. And when you are willing to bid more for that particular state, you'll actually show up a higher percentage of the time. You'll also show up higher in the actual 4 ads that are at the top of Google. If you're running like Google Display Network or YouTube ads, you get shown a higher percentage of the time. Given the higher you bid, the higher the percentage of the time for your audience that you're targeting, you're going to show up, which is why you want to know which states are converting better so that you can extract every bit of value you can from those states. And where states that you have, or cities or whatnot, depending if you're doing things locally, don't do at the account average that you have as a conversion rate in your account. You want to not be so aggressive there, and you actually can shift budget from states or cities that are not as profitable to the ones that are more profitable than average, and actually walk up the ROI of your account. So if your account's not even getting the ROI that it needs, you can get more ROI, or if you're getting the ROI that you want right now, it'll get you more profit overall at the same ROI, because Of course, you're going to be there's parts of the account that you should be pushing more aggressively, and this will tell you exactly how to do it at least at the location level, which you can do this obviously in other areas like at the device level, age level, gender level, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. But to give you one example, a random example, in the protein powder, like muscle building supplement space, it made quite a difference in those particular states I'm talking about, where we're actually getting about double the conversion rate in those states that I mentioned versus someone in Iowa or Nebraska or whatever, for the basically the reasons I mentioned. Even though I don't have documentation of the reasons why they're converting better there, you wouldn't think of that, and you probably will be quite surprised yourself to see how much of a difference it makes from one market to another, one state to another, one city to another, one even neighborhood to than another. For local businesses, on the other hand, you'll find tons of a difference from one part of your metro market over another. A lot of that has to do with income, how income is correlated with geography in your local city that your local metro area that you're targeting. But even beyond that, there's just certain places that are more apt to take what you sell more seriously than others, such as landscaping. There's certain neighborhoods, just to give you a general example, where certain neighborhoods where people take landscaping more seriously, and there's more of a need in their mind, in the consumer's mind, to get it to compete with their neighbors. So if you're getting a person from those neighborhoods, they're more apt to pull the trigger quickly or at all, even though they're going to waste your ad budget to get to your site, than other parts of the city where their neighbors aren't. It's not so saturated in that neighborhood of people using landscapers. So it's not only just related to income, it's about consumer trends and how people perceive what you sell as important, and capitalizing where people see what you sell as more important because they're going to convert at a higher rate in those situations. So how do you actually do this? Essentially, this is actually pretty simple. If you've already been advertising for a while already, with conversion tracking involved, if you've had conversion tracking on your account, everything that you need to get this extra 50% more either ROI or profit from your account, if your ROI is at where it needs to be already, is to look at the location conversion data that you already have and get that extra 50%. You just click on the current location, go into the location targeting part of your campaigns, click on the location, whether that be United States or Chicago, and start breaking out your data. Because as soon as you click on the location targeting you have, it'll say, how do you want to break this out? Do you want to break it out by city or neighborhood or airports that are nearby or whatever, some random stuff in there. So what you want to do is just go to the second least precise option there for you, if you will. So if you're targeting United States wide already, then you want to click states, so that you can see by state how well each state has been converting individually for your brand in terms of the conversion rate. But more importantly, conversion rate is what causes it, but your cost per conversion or your ROI by each state. And then once you simply have done that, then you can go ahead and you may be wondering, well, what good is it if I'm targeting, I'm not targeting each state? Well, that's what you actually do. Then at that point in time, you could go ahead and put each state individually in your location targeting, which is what I normally do just to get out ahead of it, because I'm going to use all that. I'm going to put what they call a bid adjustment on each one of those. But you could just, find out any state that has had a lot of different conversions in it. I'm going to put that state as a separate location target so that I can put a separate bid adjustment on that state. For the most part, though, what I would recommend is once you get about four or more conversions on a particular state, if you were targeting nationally, just to give you an example, I'm going to break that out separately, and then I'm going to have a bid adjustment. When you have one sale, you can't draw enough of a conclusion on that as to whether that's doing better or worse than average. Once you get at least 4 sales, though, or 4 leads if you're doing lead generation, then that's the time where you could say, okay, well, this particular state probably is going to do better than the rest of the account, so I want to go up and bid here. so that my ad will show up a higher percentage of the time if that person's from that particular state, and vice versa if it's below the average cost per conversion that you're currently paying for out of all the states combined that you're targeting. And so what you do is you go out and you get what is called a bid adjustment formula, where you could plug in with that formula, which Google provides you actually out there, what your current average cost per conversion is overall in all your states in that example, and then what that state converts at, and then it'll tell you what you want as a bid adjustment. Exactly, so that you know whether to go up and by exactly how much, because the goal is if you have a state that converts above average, you want to promote it more so that you get to where the cost per conversion becomes like what you're paying for the account average, but then now you're getting like double the conversions from that state. That's ultimately what this bid adjustment system does for you. And a lot of people think they don't need to do these adjustments on the location level itself because they got auto bidding or smart bidding on their campaigns. And I'm going to tell you here, a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I know because we've tested this. Even if you have smart bidding, i.e. maximize conversions or maximize conversion value bidding on your campaigns, you can do these location bid adjustments I just was explaining how to do and get the results out of your account. Why? Because, well, the smart bidding will actually make adjustments based upon which locations do better than others. It will automatically do. However, the algorithm will be super liberal about it because Google's goal is to be able to make as much money from their advertisers as they can. So they could, once you get 4 sales from a particular state, like I gave you an example of before, start to double down, triple down in those areas. It's slow to figure it out. And it's quicker to figure it out if a state does better than average, but particularly when a state does below average, it's super slow in reacting in those situations because it wants to give that state the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it'll come around after 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 sales in that state. It'll figure out through there's something in statistics called statistical significance. Figure out with the 99.9% statistical significance that state actually will do below average. Well, the amount of money you got to spend on a state to get 100 conversions will be, a lot of times $20,000. And you could have saved that $20,000 by acting quicker with a manual adjustment on that state, which, yes, if you would have waited till you got 100 sales in that state, you could have made an adjustment with a lot more certainty. But what you actually do, what I do, is go into the account quarterly, every 90 days, and make your adjustment on each state, so that if you make an adjustment and it ain't quite what you needed it to be, you make another adjustment and make it more accurate. And the more sales you get per state, the more accurate your adjustment will get. That way you're guiding the system until Google has undeniable information about which state should be promoted and at what level. And eventually the algorithm will take it over. But the algorithm by itself isn't very good until it has amassed a lot of data, particularly as Google doesn't want to cut off their income source and neuter things in your account too quickly. They will be apt to want to find out after a longer trial whether or not they should be promoting things at a certain level or not. So you go there, use this bid adjustment formula, make it an adjustment on each state. The next 90 days, you look at the basically what the results have been cumulatively for that campaign in that state for 2 quarters, since you did it at 90 days and now at 180 days. And then you can make an updated adjustment. Then you can do it at 90 days after that. And so that the more data you acquire, the better your adjustment will get. But along the way, you're utilizing the location conversion data you have much quicker than the algorithm would do on its own. If you're doing a campaign nationally and you got 5,000 conversions already, well, that's the kind of the time that the algorithm is going to kind of be able to take it over, and you're not going to help it out much through these manual adjustments. But obviously most of you guys aren't there necessarily per se, and 5,000 plus conversions is just an arbitrary number, but that would apply to also like per campaign, because every campaign has different keywords or different audiences, so it's going to convert differently. So to have a campaign get 5,000 conversions, a lot of you guys aren't there. So the manual adjustments on the way up will help you save money, and it'll also help you get more sales coming in quicker than they would otherwise at the cost per sale or cost per conversion you're looking for. So the more data you have, the more accurate your bid adjustments will get. But also, if you want to go this next step here, which you absolutely should, going to the national, where you're selling nationally like I was talking about before, you can do this for each state. Well, technically, once you get to 5,000 conversions, all the benefit of doing the location bid adjustments is not over. Then you could switch to doing city level of adjustments, where the algorithm hasn't caught up to how to apply an adjustment at the city level yet, because there's not enough data for the algorithm to work from there, and it's more apt to just wait longer to do anything about the city level trends and who's buying from each city nationwide and so forth. And actually the way that the system's working is it's going to use the bid adjustment you put at the city level over the state level. So if you have a bid adjustment at the city level, it will override what the state level bid adjustment was. So what you will, and obviously you can't do bid adjustments on every city across the United States, it's too much. But what you can do is like the top 20 cities in the US, you can do an adjustment and get a lot of extra results that you couldn't get otherwise, because ultimately you might find if they're in Chicago, they convert 3 times as good as the national average of your campaign. And so you can bid a lot more if they're from Chicago, and really exploit and make sure you're just literally plastered at #1 in the search results for your keywords if they're from Chicago in that case, and really get a lot more sales going for your company because you've applied that bid adjustment on the, at the level of Chicago, if you will. And so respectively, what I would do in the example I gave you is you have all those individual states. When it gets to the point where you have cities with 4 conversions at least, you should do a bid adjustment on those particular cities. And then eventually, if you were to get far enough to where you have 4 sales at least from individual neighborhoods, you do it at the neighborhood level. That's going to get you the maximum results of all. And for sure, you guys on the local level, you should be doing it down to the neighborhood level eventually. The national players, it's going to take you a long, long time to get any national bid adjustments going. But hypothetically, you see what I'm saying here. You could just keep going and going and going. The more data you amass, the more granular your bid adjustments will get. The algorithm will take over once it gets enough, thousands of conversions already, and you're not going to be able to use your manual bid adjustments isn't going to do anything. At least when you're talking about thousands of conversions at the state level, then you just switch to do manual bid adjustments on the city level, which will make your account better. That your account will do better, your campaign will do better because you're adding manual bid adjustments than if you didn't add manual bid adjustments. But you just shifted to doing the manual bid adjustments on the city level instead of the state level, if that makes sense. So if you want just a quick formula, again, just to summarize this, if you have at least 4 conversions on any one state or city or whatnot, you could do a bid adjustment. One, you at least have 5,000 conversions on a state level or a city level, then you just switch to the level below it. If you have 5,000 conversions at the state level, switch to city. If you have 5,000 conversions at the city level, switch to the neighborhood level, if you will. Obviously, for you guys running international campaigns, the same thing could be done on the country level itself as well. And if you get 5,000 conversions at the international level, you could switch to doing this at the state or province level, depending on what country it is. They call it different things, and do the same thing there. You get the general idea here. So, because you're going to be able to get some good traction and get this extra 50-100% more results out of your campaigns doing the bid adjustments on the level that doesn't have quite enough conversions for the algorithm, the AI, to really take it and run with it yet. So, with all that said, I pretty much explained the system that we're going to use here, we use on our clients' campaigns, and you can use for your own campaigns, get 50 to 100% more money from your ad spend that you have on an ongoing basis, 50 to 100% more ROI, or just 50 to 100% more sales at the same ROI, depending on where you're at. If your ROI is acceptable to you right now, or it's not acceptable, and go one direction or the other there. So As a last thing to mention here though, if you're doing lead generation, you're not generating all your orders purely through the shopping cart on your site. You want to add offline conversion tracking to your process, where what this is basically when you take orders over the phone, or when people call and you process their credit card through the website for the person, or you just generate leads and then you got to have salespeople close those leads. You want the sale that occurs from any one of those individual things, and you want to plug all that sales data back into your account so that when you do these location bid adjustments, they're as accurate as possible. If you're just doing bid adjustments to get yourself the most leads at the cheapest rate or at a certain rate, you're not going to do a third as well as if you were to do that on the revenue level to get you the most, actual ROI, because the cheapest leads are never going to be the best leads itself. And when you're doing like even selling products and you have e-commerce, but more than 10% of your sales are coming through the phone, you're not going to do near as good without the extra phone sales that come in plugged into your account as well. So you'll do much, much better. You'll get 3 times the benefit out of this than you would otherwise having the sales revenue data versus just the lead level data, whether a lead was generated or not, given there's a huge disparity in one type of lead versus another. And you just can't get near the results if you don't have the actual revenue data to do the adjustments on. So you can look at things from a cost per conversion level, but what you guys ultimately really want to do is look at things not at a cost per conversion level, but a ROI level, and do your bid adjustments and use your bid adjustment formula based upon the ROI of that particular state or city or country or whatever is compared to the account or campaign average. And to mention that, by the way, location-wise, when you're really starting out, I would do your bid adjustments based upon all the sales in your account cumulatively, so that you're really capitalizing on all the, because when you start out, you don't have enough data on a campaign by campaign basis to do your bid adjustments based upon the data from that individual campaign. So what we'll do is we'll combine all the data from all campaigns to make a adjustment for California, and that same adjustment for California goes into every other campaign in our account. Once we get enough conversions though, we get at least 100 conversions going or more, then we can start to look at doing the bid adjustments on the campaign level. All right, so because each campaign is going to perform a little bit different state to state, but you can't do that right away because you don't have enough data. And really you're going to need, depending on how many campaigns you have, a few hundred conversions before you can do it. You can do unique location bid adjustments on each individual campaign, if you will. You'll do better when you have less data, just doing one that is good for every campaign in your account. So, and that, how many conversions do you need to be able to switch from doing your location bid adjustment on the account level versus the campaign level? That it's up to you to decide. We basically are looking for a couple hundred conversions already before we switch to doing it at a campaign level. And even then, we'll just do it on the top converting campaign or two, not to all the campaigns. So we'll do a hybrid method where campaigns that don't get a lot of conversions, that'll get the account level treatment, and the campaign that gets the most conversions, that'll start to get a campaign level treatment. So anyway, with that, I'll wrap it up. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel. Within a couple days, you can ask me any related question around or related to ads or online advertising you'd like to ask. I'd be happy to, with my 17 years of ad experience, help answer your question and put you on the right track. I have a ton of different content on this channel though about how to make money with ads, as well as stuff to avoid spending money on stuff that doesn't work, given to you with my decade of experience working with clients at the firm that I currently have, Guaranteed PPC, and working 40 hours a week just working on strategy for our clients' campaigns. I'm the lead strategist. That's all I do is account strategy. And the stuff that works, I give to you on this channel. And of course, we have to guarantee results for our clients to get paid. So you're getting the stuff that we're using to guarantee results for our clients. Therefore, it's the best information you're going to find on YouTube on how to make money with your ads. No BS information. So you should subscribe. I also have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog where you can also find other information for myself in written form. Guaranteedppc.com/blog is where you can find it. And also I have a column at entrepreneur.com where you can also find writing for myself on how to make money with ads and the latest greatest stuff that's going on in the ad world. I publish there as well. So beyond that though, if you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like. And also, if you think that you need some help with your campaigns, I'd be happy to hear from you at my firm though at guaranteedppc.com. Ultimately, if you have a great product or service and all you think it needs is just some great marketing, I should be able to help you out. What we do is we don't take fees, any kind of fees from our client until we can raise your sales. So if you contact me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com, I'll look at your stuff and see if I can get you sales results on your campaign. If we can, I'll be happy to work on it until we get you, more profit from your campaigns than you have. Of course, you have to have a great product or service for me to be considering working together, but I'd be happy to look at your stuff. That part is free, and I'll let you know what's possible with it. So I'd be more than happy to hear from you at my site if you want to reach out. If you aren't looking for somebody to manage your campaigns fully, which is what our primary service is, we actually have campaign templates that work for 100+ markets out there to this day. I thought before it was a few dozen or dozens of markets. It's really hundreds of markets now that we've worked in, where we've gotten results, in which if we've gotten results in your market already, instead of having to do the hard work yourself, you can copy and paste the templates we have for that market already to your account with the landing page templates and stuff and get the same results we got optimizing a campaign in that market for years for yourself with none of the work, just a one-time fee to get the campaign templates we have for that market and use them for yourself, of which you'll know what the results are before you even ultimately pay and try them out for your company. But it would be silly not to use those templates if we've already gotten the results in your market, because you can take the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars we spent advertising in that market already and the learnings we got from it and just apply it to your account directly. So, and a lot of people are using our templates to start new businesses and just outsource the work and so forth. So, which is a smart idea, by the way. But if you're interested in that, reach out to my firm and we'll let you know if we worked in your market before and see if we have a template for you and let you know what we can do with you, do for you with the template we have for your market. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you back on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.